All right, let's talk about one of the biggest game changers in modern software development, CI/CD. We're going to break it all down in the next few minutes, so let's just jump right in. So here's our game plan. We'll start with why CI/CD even exists, then get into what continuous integration really is. We'll clear up the difference between delivery and deployment, walk through what a perfect pipeline looks like, check out some of the tools that make it all happen, and wrap up with how you can choose the right path for your own team. You know, to really get why CI/CD is such a big deal, you have to understand the pain it solves. So let's rewind the clock a bit to a time of what some developers called merge day hell. Picture this. You've got a whole team of developers, all working away on different features for weeks, maybe even months. And then comes the day they have to combine all that code. It was, no joke, a complete nightmare. People would manually copy and paste code, trying to resolve conflicts. It was slow, full of risk, and it almost always led to a ton of bugs and huge delays. And that painful experience leads to a really powerful question. What if we didn't have to do it that way? What if the code could just take care of itself? This single question is really the whole idea behind the CI/CD revolution. Okay, so how do we escape that merge day hell? Well, it all starts with the first half of our acronym, CI, or continuous integration. This is the bedrock, the foundation that makes everything else possible. And the magic word here really is frequently. Instead of one giant, terrifying merge day, developers are merging small changes, maybe multiple times a day. And every single time they do, an automated system kicks off, builds the software, and runs a battery of tests to see if anything broke. You catch problems when they're tiny and easy to fix. And this loop, as simple as it sounds, is absolutely revolutionary. It creates this constant, rapid feedback cycle. A developer pushes a small change, and in a few minutes, they know for sure if it's safe. It keeps the main code base healthy and ready to go at all times. So that's CI. But what about the CD part? This is where things get even more powerful. But you gotta know that CD can actually mean two slightly different things. Let's break this down. With continuous delivery, everything is automated right up to the very last step. Your code is always ready to be released, but a human still has to push the final go button. Now, with continuous deployment, well, that's the full automation dream. If a change passes all the automated tests, it just goes, bam, straight out to your users, no human intervention needed. So what does this actually look like from start to finish? Let's follow a little piece of code on its automated journey from a developer's keyboard all the way out into the wild. Okay, so it all kicks off the second a developer hits commit. The system immediately grabs that new code, compiles it, and runs a bunch of really fast isolated tests called unit tests. These just make sure the individual little piece that was just changed works correctly on its own. So once those individual parts look good, the whole application gets automatically deployed to a special test environment. You can think of this like a perfect sandbox, a replica of the real thing where we can do more intense testing without breaking anything for real users. And this is where we run the big picture tests, right? If the first stage was about checking if a single gear works, this stage is about making sure the entire machine runs smoothly. We're testing how different parts of the application talk to each other and simulating what a real person would do, like logging in or adding something to a shopping cart. All right, our code has passed all of its automated tests, we're feeling good, but are we ready to send it to everybody? Not quite. This is where a super important safety check comes in, what's often called a canary release. And yeah, it's exactly like the canary in a coal mine, sniffing for danger before everyone else goes in. And this shows you exactly how it works. We might send, say, just 10% of our real users to the new code, while the other 90% stay on the stable, old version. This is huge, because it lets us see how the code behaves in the real world with real traffic, but with minimal risk. And here's the best part. It's an automated safety net. The whole time this canary release is happening, the system is watching. I mean, everything. Is the error rate going up? Is the site getting slower? If anything even looks a little bit wrong, an alarm goes off, and boom, the system automatically rolls back the change, all traffic goes back to the safe, old version, and no human even has to lift a finger. And only after that new code has proven itself, after it's baked for a while in that canary environment with zero alarms, only then does the pipeline say, okay, you're good to go, and rolls it out to all the other servers for all the users. So this whole automated journey sounds pretty amazing, right? But it's not magic,
It's all powered by some really incredible tools. Let's take a quick look at a couple of the big ones.
You really can't talk about CI/CD without talking about Jenkins. It's like the original, open-source workhorse of this world. Jenkins is known for one thing above all else: flexibility. With its massive universe of plugins, you can basically connect it to anything and make it do whatever you want. It's the ultimate do-it-yourself automation server.
Then you've got the newer, more integrated players like GitHub Actions or GitLab CI/CD. Their superpower is that they live right where your code lives. The pipeline configuration is just another file in your repository. This makes getting started so much simpler and more intuitive for developers.
And this table really nails the key differences. With Jenkins, you get total control, but you're also responsible for setting up and maintaining the server. With something like GitHub Actions, it's all managed for you. It's super easy to get going. It's that classic trade-off, right? Do you want ultimate power and control, or do you want speed and convenience?
And this brings us to maybe the most important point of all. The tools are cool, yeah, but CI/CD isn't really about the tools. At its heart, it's a practice. It's a cultural shift in how a team builds software together.
So, before you even start looking at tools, your team needs to sit down and ask some of these big questions. Things like, what are we actually building? What's our budget? How critical is it that our service never ever goes down? And honestly, how much time do we have to learn something new? Figuring this out first is the key. And that really brings us to the big picture takeaway. CI/CD is about so much more than just shipping code faster. By automating all the tedious, repetitive, and risky parts of the job, we're freeing up our developers. We're giving them back their time and their brainpower to focus on what they do best, solving the next big challenge and building whatever comes next.